NSFW, what is the best accidental nudity you have seen? I work at McDonald's. And one day while I was handing a woman her food I saw that she was in the middle of sending nudes. Ordering McDonald's while sending nudes. What a time to be alive. When I was living in New Zealand. One night my roommate brought home some guy from the bar and they had sex on the couch. It just so happened that the couch was on the opposite side of the wall from my bed, so I heard it all. But that's besides the point. The next morning I woke up to a text from a different roommate that there was a naked guy on the couch. I casually went to the bathroom to sneak a peek and there he was, in all his glory, passed out on the couch. The roommate who brought him home was nowhere to be found. We later found her curled up on the bathroom floor, also naked. And now they're married. The end. That's not how you do a one-night stand at all. As a kid, I always went to summer camp in a different state, and we would often take multi-day canoe trips around the general area. On one of these trips, after a long day of paddling down a river, the trip leader decided to stop on an island and set up camp for the night. As the day progressed, the sunshine turned to rain and before we knew it, it was a full-on monsoon. As me and a bunch of other boys huddled under a tarp, someone pointed out two people swimming on the other side of the river. We notice it's two guys and a girl and continue to watch. Before we know it, the girl stands up revealing that she is actually completely nude. In fact, all three were skinny dipping. Being teenage boys, we began to yell and wave at them, asking if they would like any s'mores, while taking turns looking through the binoculars. We thought they would be embarrassed, however, they weren't fazed by this, and one of the dudes began to swim over. I will never forget his face as he got closer and realized we were a bunch of little kids. Needless to say, we gave him a s'more. DL, doctor saw a naked river girl, and fed a naked man a s'more. Sort of accidental. When I was in high school I lived with my dad. Our house had a pool and a hot tub and Pops was a randy old hound. He was scooping it to what seemed like all the divorced ladies in my neighborhood, being single, well off and having a hot tub really greased the wheels. Anyhow he and his girlfriends weren't exactly incognito and after a few drinks tended to come in and out of the house, where I was, in varying states of undress to use the bathroom, and get refills or snacks. Let's just say that I saw more of many of my friends' moms than was polite to discuss. I guess it's not really accidental because she dropped hints later that it was intentional, but at the time I thought it was. Went on a date with a co-worker, while waiting for her to get ready in her living room, I could see her fully nude in the reflection in a mirror on a door. She had a ridiculously awesome figure, too. I used to work in an electronics store. We regularly had promo staff and reps in on the weekends to sell their stuff in store. This particular weekend we had 3 models in promoting some camera or other. Late afternoon I go into the customer collections room where reserved stock is kept to look for an item. As I'm clearly in there looking for something, these 3 girls burst in and start stripping off their branded dresses to change and go home. In shock I say, "Do you want me to go out?" And they're like, "Nah, it's okay." Then some checkout girl comes in and laughs, gasps and drags me out. Gutted. Checkout girl just doesn't understand. When I was about 6 I was at the ocean with parents. My dad was playing with me in the breaking waves on the beach. I saw a rough wave wash over this young lady a few feet from us and it totally swept her bikini bottom off. I couldn't believe it, and no one, including her, seemed to be aware for several long seconds. It was a massive late 1970s bush. I saw it before my dad and pointed and yelled, "Look at the hair." My dad was up to speed quickly and swept me up facing me the other way as a guy apparently with the woman somehow found her bikini before it was lost forever. She was sitting down in the water when he brought them over and said, "You lose something?" I learned a lot that day. Oh man. I thought you had said that your dad was the one to yell, "Look at the hair." And I was like, man, your dad's awesome. I was on a Mediterranean cruise in summer so the top deck was filled with people sunbathing. This one lady with rather large boobs was sunbathing with her family and taking off her bikini straps as some of them do to avoid tan lines I guess. Anyway she accidentally dropped it and I got a full-on view of one of her boobs. She looked around to see if anybody noticed, caught my eye and gave me a cheeky grin before I looked away blushing. Happened to me on a cruise last year. She gave me a grin, I gave her the Putin and kept walking. When I was working as a PA on a TV show, we filmed an episode at a fashion show. I spent the evening wandering around backstage getting models to sign releases. Most of them were naked or half naked. Best work day of my life. Was working in my fish and chip shop, and just across the road is a bunch of terrace houses. The windows upstairs start on the floor, but I assume the girl had no idea. My mom actually pointed it out to me, and it was a girl butt naked in front of her window. The guys in the garage around the corner was walking down the street opposite of her window and got an eyeful too. I later learned she was the sister of a guy I went to school with. When I was a junior in high school, I had a math teacher that was probably in her late 20s or early 30s. One day near the end of the first semester, she was wearing a dress of sorts. It was in Florida, so it wasn't getting cold at all, and she was trying to reach something off the top shelf near her desk when the two straps holding up her dress just snapped and the entire dress fell to her feet. Sure, she was still wearing panties, but the dress didn't hide bra straps, and well, that was nice. I didn't have her the second semester, but from what I heard, she got in some trouble for wearing inappropriate attire for a teacher and had been suspended for the first month of the semester. She got in some trouble for wearing inappropriate attire for a teacher and had been suspended for the first month of the semester. That seems unfair. I install security alarms, cameras, sensors, locks. On one install, I placed a camera in the master bedroom like the husband had asked. While I was still there installing, I was checking the cameras and finishing up the tests, and the wife came out of the bathroom completely naked from the shower. I hastily tried to exit the screen, but the husband, who was peering over my shoulder, told me not to and just stared at his naked wife while I was in between him and the screen. Edit. Thank you/you/ResiTip for assisting kindly to the correction of my spelling. Edit 2. I did not have sex with either of them. That time was at an indoor water park waiting in line for the attraction that simulates surfing, Florida I think. Well, there was this really cute girl up and she bails face first. Now if you know of these attractions, you know that there is a lot of force behind the water. As it turns out, it is enough force to completely remove a person's bikini, both top and bottom. Must have been really embarrassing for her, but I like the piercings. Not sure if you can say accidentally, but my neighbor used to be a manager for exotic dancers. One day I'm out in my garden and happened to look up at their back bedroom. That was when I discovered where auditions took place. I got a lot of fresh air from that day on. I own a strip club and auditions are at my house. Yeah, that sounds above board for sure. Around 16 at the time, I left my house after my sister and her two friends came over, one of which is just absolutely banging with an amazing body that I may have thought about once or twice. Anyway, nobody else was home. Forgot something in my room, so I ran back in, but I guess nobody heard me come in. I walked down the hallway to my room and past my sister's doorway that was open. I glance over and my brain locks me into place mid-stride, jaw hits the floor while it burns the image of her butt naked cupping her breasts. They all look over at me and scream. I can't look away. She runs toward me and closes the door. I ran to my room, took a few minutes to savor what I saw, and left. Edit. They're all 3 years older. Edit 2/you/Oster195 is much prettier and smarter than said naked lady. Edit 3, thanks for the gold, friend. Edit 4, my sister was not naked. I was about 10 and we went snorkeling with a group on vacation. This old unattractive woman's breast popped out while she was underwater. She didn't notice. I couldn't stop staring. First real boobs I ever saw. This story has me dying. I'm just picturing long floppy boobs undulating in the current. My sister and her boyfriend were having sex. It was hard to tell with the noise. Well, after an hour I hear her door close and I think, thank God he left, I can take a shit now. I walk into the bathroom, drop my pants in the dark and start to squat when the light turns on and her boyfriend walks out naked full staff and says, ready for more. I stare just in shock and he now realizes that I am not my sister, just coughs and walks away. I no longer feel safe to shit in my own bathroom. Pull my pants up and just go bed. Fucking with a person's ability to shit in their own castle is just not cool, dude. Female friend of mine was getting ready for her sister's wedding. She was sending me snaps of herself asking questions like necklace or no to me and her BF. And she accidentally sent me a picture of her tits hanging out in the dress she was wearing. Edit, trust me, she did not intend on sending me that pic. 10/10. I guess she got a screenshot notification. Work at a hotel on the beach. Usually, every night before I leave I take a walk around the building, just make sure everything is okay, people are quiet, etc. All of our rooms had balconies, but luckily the way our building is set up you can't see into another balcony from another balcony. Earlier that day I had a newlywed couple checking in. All went normal then. Later that night, did my rounds, and I saw them on their balcony. He's leaning up against a patio chair turned backwards, pants pulled down, and she's sitting on the chair, giving him head. Okay, for all purposes that's technically an evictable offense, but I just remembered they're a newlywed couple, no one else can see them on their balcony the way our building is configured, so I just turned around, walked back inside, and let it be. At least I know their marriage got off to a good start, hopefully it stayed that way. During college, I was drunk at a party that ended up moving to a local bar. One of the hot girls in the class ahead of mine came up to me and this other dude. The other dude, I guess, had a bet with her or something and took her walking up as the perfect time to remind her. He said, "Remember, you still need to flash me for who care what it was." I might be paraphrasing. She gives him an annoyed look and then just flashes the both of us for a good 5 to 10 seconds. Very nice boobs would look again. My wife used to do triathlons, the sprint and Olympic lengths, not Ironmans. She was doing a women's only sprint triathlon and I'm hanging out near her bike waiting for her to return from the swim, first leg of the race. The most experienced athletes bike and run in their one-piece swimsuit. Inexperienced people take the time to change their clothes. There was a young woman on her late 20s changing nearby my wife. Obviously new to this stuff, she had planned a different set of clothes for each activity. She had some friends holding up towels to shield her while she changed from her swimsuit to her bicycling gear. She got the suit off and struggled to get her bike shorts on over her wet legs while crouching behind the towels. Then she just said, "Oh fuck it," stood up bare-chested and proceeded to struggle with her athletic bra. She had a nice all-over tan, I'll give her that much. Walking to school on a soggy morning, saw my art teacher in her minivan changing her clothes. Normally, you can't really see into the side passenger area windows well because they were semi-tinted a deeper color. But it just stopped raining a bit earlier and the sun came through the clouds and shined down on the car, lighting it and the area in general up very bright, and I could see right into the car window. Mind you, my art teacher was 29 at the time, fit and moderately attractive. Full-on boobies. I was 14, in 9th grade. Probably one of the best days at school followed thereafter. I was at my friend's beach house when I was 16. He had a really hot sister that was about 20 at the time. We were watching TV in the living room and she comes in to hang out with us wearing a t-shirt and loose-fitting boy shorts. Looked more like boxers, to be honest. She sat near me and put her legs up in such a way that I had a marvelous view of her lady parts through the baggy leg of the shorts. I tried not to stare, but it was pretty cool when I was 16. My dad lived a few towns over from my mom, so I didn't really know anyone in his neighborhood. I was about 13 at the time and there was a high school girl that lived across the street from him. She'd get changed almost every night in front of her big open windows and I watched every time I was there. Smoking hot girl going down a water slide. Her bikini top got caught and came off. She had some very nice boobs. That reminds me of the time I saw a 60-year-old man going down a water slide and he was going so fast his bathing suit fell off and I just stood there staring at his big beautiful hairy balls flopping around. Handed the Verizon guy my phone to get it turned back on. Opened Safari and first thing that popped up was the best pic of my boobs to date. We both just laughed it off. Been selling phones for like 10 years. Ran across accidental boobs more than a couple times. It is never the boobs you want to see. Also work as a fireman/medic. See lots of boobs there. But they're always like 70+ years old. No good boobs there either. I was in London, and my sister and I got last-minute tickets to see Patrick Stewart in A-Life in the theater. We had amazing seats, 3rd or 4th row center. So at one point during the play, Patrick Stewart sits down on a folding chair, right in the center, in front of us. He was wearing loose shorts. And his fucking balls were showing through the shorts. They were huge. It was glorious and incredibly awkward at the same time. The whole scene he's just balls out. I still can't look at him without thinking, dude. I saw your balls. I googled Patrick Stewart balls and was not disappointed. At a party in HS, my best friend got hammered and passed out in the front lawn halfway through. I was hanging with my other buddy and his GF, who was also hammered, when he decided to go check on my best friend. He asked me to make sure his GF didn't do anything stupid while he was gone. She flashed me. I failed him.